Alright, welcome back. Harry P. from the Driftless Homestead here. This is part 2 of our van series where I'm building out the van so that I have a place to camp in, and a rugged van that's, well, it's insulated and then it's rugged with the plywood furnishing on the wall and the flooring, so that I can still do some heavy work out of it and not worry about ripping upholstery or anything like that. So in this part, we're going to see us lay down the 2x2s. I'm going to be gluing those to the floor, laying them out, and then I will take polyiso foil faced, and I'll be cutting that and laying it down in between the 2x2s for my insulation. And then on top of that, I'm going to use floating floor, the laminate flooring underlayment. It's a solid sheet of thin foam, and there's plastic on one side, so it makes a great vapor barrier. There's even a little piece of peel off tape on there so you can stick two pieces together. So check it out. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and please, if you have comments or if you have better ideas or if you can help me out in something, leave a comment down below. The interaction on the website or on the videos really helps us out. So thank you very much, and come back again. Since the van is new, I won't have to do any rust treatments. Scrape any rust off and put any of the whatever paint people were using to take care of the rust. I should just be able to sweep this out good. Maybe wipe it down, and then I could throw the first set of 2x2s in today. I'll be heading over to Richland Center, so what I'd like to do is put the 2x2s down, flop a sheet of plywood down to hold everything in place, go to Richland Center, and then tomorrow glue in some more 2x2s, and then either tomorrow afternoon or Sunday, start cutting the plywood and getting it form fit around these wheel wells and the indentations in the wall. I do have right now the plan is the polyiso in between the 2x2s and the floor, along with the foam exercise mats. And then as far as the walls go, I'm kind of uncertain on that. Maybe if one of you people who've done a lot of vans or have done it before, has some input, by all means, I'd like to hear it. I watched a lot of videos, and there's a lot of people talking about vapor barriers or whatnot. And I believe that needs to be taken care of, because I've seen a lot of videos on home remodeling, and the vapor, not taking care of your roof and have the right airflow with your insulation and everything, can destroy a house. That's how you get that black mold and it comes in. So a lot of people do go out of their way to do vapor things. At work, I call on an airplane manufacturer, and I had some discussions with them what they do on these planes for vapor barriers and insulation, and it was an interesting conversation with them because I watched the van video builds, and it seemed a lot more in depth. And then when I talked to them about the vapor barrier on these planes, You know, it seemed like, yeah, we do this, and this, but it wasn't like detail and insulation and this and that. So, I'm going to kind of do, listen to the van people, of course. So if you can comment, if you've done it before, you know, I'd like to hear your story. One thing I do plan on doing here is the Fords, I guess there's these clips that hold the outer trim piece on. I guess they leak water all the time, so I'll silicone those before I start doing the walls. And then we'll do that. So I'll probably do maybe a 3/8 plywood on the wall. I don't know, it might be a little bit weak in the middle there. And then a 1/4 inch or 3/8 on the roof, and maybe I'll stick with the 1/2 inch here on the walls again, you know. So we'll have to see how everything turns out and how it progresses. Or, you know, if somebody gives me a good idea, you know, certainly I'll listen to what they have to say and maybe follow it. So let me get things rolling here. I guess I didn't realize all the spacing in here was not identical between these raised sections. There were some holes up right behind the 2 seats. My son thought the road noise was coming in from there. On a tin can. But I did go and buy some from some Flex Seal tape, some white stuff. You can't even tell that I covered up those holes with it, you know, and that stuff should last forever. That is some really neat product there. So this one I'm going to save for a cutter. This one I'm going to save for a cutter. It's amazing, you know, they make these, I believe all these 2x2s start off life as a 2x4 and then they just zip it down the middle. No, this is an actual made from 2x2. But, or it could be a 2x6, I guess. But it's amazing how much, when they put that extra cut in there, how much these things twist and bend up. Let's see if I go halfway. That's what I'll do. Because it'll fit in this one here, and I'll pull it halfway, and then I can space these out a little bit better. This one, I think, I'm gonna have to get the old tape measure out, measure twice, cut once. But I tell you, on all the home improvement projects I did, and it holds true for the floor on this van here, is, you know, people go crazy about trying to get the perfect measurement, and there's so much stuff you never see, never touch, never comes into play again, especially in houses, and it'll come into play on this van too. You know, if you try to build it too tight, you know, that's where you run into problems. You want to make sure you support the floor, but you know, you also want to make sure that you got room to play, and then you cover it up with trim, or cover it with trim. I mean, that's what they make trim for. A couple of my friends say it looks fine from their house. So I'm going to cut one piece at 68 inches. I'm going to take one of these bent ones, or broken, damaged ones. This one right here. Yeah, we were putting a steel roof on my brother's cabin last year, and they wanted to get it too tight. Telling them to cut everything a 1/4 inch short because we got trim pieces going on, and that way we have wiggle room, you know, because it's those old places, you know, most of it's not straight. You know, even nowadays, you know, I think the only thing you could really count on being straight is that the foundation. The same thing with, I guess, goes for the floor. You know, I've used construction adhesive before, and you use it on wood. You know, wood is very porous and it's not cut very smooth. And you know, I see people on some of the van builders, you know, they wipe everything down so clean and then they glue something on top of it. I don't think you need to go to that extent. But we'll see here. I'm going to pull all these back. This piece was meant to go in the middle. Oh, fits like a glove. Fits like a glove. Yeah, I got that little, because the glue is imperfect on both sides of the wall. So the wall in the front, the wall in the back is different based on the glue that Ford laid out there. I'm not going to put a solid piece across the back because there's all these access points and I don't know what they're for or when they're for, you know, so I'll leave it so that I know where they are. I can see it, you know, so I'll put the foam up to there. The foam's easy to remove, the plywood's easy to drill through, but you know, you lay a 2x2 on top of there and glue it down, now you get problems. When it comes to the spacing of these 2x2s, I want it to, I mean, because I'm only using 1/2 inch plywood, so I don't want to make the spans super huge because I will have to have the supports in there. So I'm going to need more supports through the middle of the van versus the sides of the van, just because, you know, when you put in a load, you don't load up the sides, you load up the middle. You know, because I've driven these things are amazing. You know, I've driven my 4-wheeler in here, I've driven the lawnmower in here. So this one I could go full length on. I'll go 65.5. I'll mark it while I'm there, huh? Leave myself a little wiggle room there. For you supreme safety people out there, my birth control glasses here are safety glasses. I broke my other ones, so I've been wearing these. I have an appointment next week to get real glasses again. Had to wait a year. Kind of rough and tumble on my glasses. I didn't see that second access point there. You know, I don't even have to measure it. I'll just put it up against the board and draw it out to the access point. So this one is a wide one here. You know, it's like cutting firewood, you know. If you cut a piece of firewood too short, it still burns. If you cut a piece of firewood too long, can't get it in your stove, it doesn't really burn. Okay, I think that's what I'm gonna, I could put one more on. which will be a couple of pieces. Oh yeah, perfect. So the plan is, the 1/2-inch plywood's kind of twisted up. So the plan is I'll glue these down, and then I am going to flop a piece of plywood on them. Then I'm going to set some bricks on there to really hold it down. And then tomorrow we'll see what life brings us. Only thing is, I should have put the plywood in there first and support it, so I don't jiggle these around too much. Well, let's go get the glue. You know, when I was a kid, my dad was in the heating and sheet metal business, so we've used a fair amount of these things here, these tubes of glue and whatnot, doing different things. We also did gutters and everything. It seemed like they were built a little better back in the day. I'm sure that, you know, all this stuff is from China now. They put a wire on there. It's not long enough to reach it after you use their handy cutter to cut the tip off. So either it doesn't cut the tip off far enough, or they need to add a 1/4 inch to the wire. I win. I think we all knew that was going to happen. I don't know if anybody's worked with this construction adhesive before, but boy oh boy does it stick things in place. I did a wainscoting on a wall once with the Loctite, and it stuck it so good just setting it up there. I didn't have to ever move it again. So with the 2x2s I measured earlier, the space in between the 2x2 and the floor is like 1.25 inches. Got some space there. So some people might think, oh, what are we going to fill in that 1/4 inch with? But there again, if you look at the polyiso, or if you look at the bubble wrap or the bubble foil, you know, all that stuff needs an air gap to perform well. So having an air gap of a 1/4 inch, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's something. For a lot of reasons, if moisture ever gets in there, it'll help it get out. I plan on putting the polyiso down, then I bought the tape to go over it to seal it, to kind of make my vapor barrier there. And then, like I said before, I'm going to come in with that those exercise things, and I'll cut those to shape. I've got enough. I had them in here before, and it quieted the van down quite a bit. So I know those are going to work well. Oh no, I made a mess. Doesn't matter, it's going to get covered up. And like my friends say, they'll never see it from their house, so. Now to cover this up, I want to get a piece of plastic so that tomorrow, when I go to open this up again, it'll be as easy as ripping off the plastic or cutting off the tip, but I don't want it to get hard down the down inside the tube. Okay, once again, I want to thank you for stopping by to see what we got going on, watching the van build. I'm sure, you know, a lot of it's pretty boring because there's some tedious, mundane tasks, but I appreciate you coming by to see what I got going on. To see my take on what a van build would be, you know, as far as, you know, insulating it and then putting up plywood so that I could still fill it full of stuff, haul stuff around, and it won't be like I'm going to rip any upholstery or anything like that. And then we'll, by later on this year, early next year, we'll have it out on fishing trips or hunting trips, and we'll be sleeping in it and camping out of it, so you'll see what's going on there. So I appreciate you stopping by. Please leave a comment, or if you got any good ideas for me, leave that in the comments section down below. And then look forward to the next video when I lay the plywood down and put the vapor barrier and then lay the plywood down.